Hello, I'm Tokunbo. It's Tokunbo. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Forget my lighting. Today we are talking No Time to Die. I'm gonna give you a rundown of the movie and my thoughts. No Time to Die. It's a James Bond movie. I don't think a James Bond movie really needs introduction or rundown of the movie. I will say that the way the movie is set up, and the way Fuganaga made the movie, it's in a sort of way where you might want to watch the previous Daniel Craig James Bond movie, just because it will give you a little bit more context to the whole situation, to give you more context to who James. And if you've not seen any James Bond movie, well, this movie review might seem a little bit confusing. I would say watch maybe one or two Casino Royale and maybe Spectre, or just a few James Bond movies, just to give you context on No Time to Die. But if you've not seen any, it's gonna be a little bit of a problem to understand just one, because I know a lot of people who haven't seen any James Bond movie, so that might not be a problem. Who is James Bond? James Bond is a 007 agent. He's agent for the UK. James Bond itself is more of a British franchise, or British agency, MI6 franchise. So everything comes from the UK side. So 007 is like an agent that they put in place to do things for them, and Daniel Craig is this era's James Bond. That's the whole situation. And basically James Bond is supposed to be retired, and it's just the whole journey of him coming out of retirement to figure out who is trying to kill him this time around and what his mission is. And that's basically all I can say about a rundown or a log line of what James Bond is about, because James Bond is repetitive. It's the same thing over and over again. As I said, just the difference is it's a different brand of pen, or it's a black pen but it's a different brand, or that's the best way to put it, meaning a different director and a different main character actor. That's what I'm trying to explain. For example, this era just ended with Daniel Craig. Next era will start with a different person. I don't know who yet. And that's the whole rundown of how James Bond is. Now let me start off by saying, if you don't like that sort of action thingy, you will not enjoy any James Bond movie, because that's the whole point of James Bond. James Bond is very predictable in that form, whereby if you've seen two eras, or even one era of a James Bond movie, or even if you've seen one Daniel Craig James Bond movie, you can predict how the next movie is going to be like. There's a sense of predictability with James Bond movies. So if that's not your sort of thing, don't bother watching it. I think the whole point of a James Bond movie is just to give you that thrill, because at the end of the day, movies like Jason Bourne, movies like Mission Impossible, they're very repetitive. It's the same thing. It's a different main protagonist and antagonist, and maybe a different director, but all around it's the same thing. I will say that some of the editing of this movie gave me a little bit of a slap in the face, because Daniel Craig has blue eyes. The blue eyes in a few beginning scenes of this No Time to Die, it looks very edited. It's obvious they edited his eyes to be more blue, to give you that European handsome but not too handsome silver foxy guy. And then if you see the movie later on, his eyes are not as blue. They shouldn't have done that. It was off. In fact, the eyes were too blue that it was distracting in that way that it's kind of not what the blue eyes were edited for. So didn't really like that part. Apart from the main music being by Billie Eilish and Phineas, Hans Zimmer was the composer of this James Bond, which I think Hans Zimmer's work always stand out. But because this is a James Bond movie, there are a few tracks in the soundtrack where obviously it's very relatable. You know, the Mission Impossible signature sound. You know, you hear it all the time, and there's really nothing you can do about it. That's why I'm saying there's no form of anonymity when it comes to James Bond movies. Even the music is very the same. As always, if you've seen any other Daniel Craig James Bond movies, Ralph Fiennes is lovely in the movie. Q is lovely in the movie. It's also very nice to see Jeffrey Wright. These people are people we see in almost every Daniel Craig James Bond movie. Now Lashana Lynch was who they put to replace the 007 after Daniel Craig retires, and I really love her character there. And she's just there to antagonize Daniel Craig a little bit, and his character as she is the new 007 for this specific No Time to Die. And I like that character. We don't really see a lot of black people in these movies. No offense. There's always like one or two. It was nice to see somebody nice and dark, and just somebody that other people of color can relate to. Anna de Armas, she was there. She was a very minor character. She acted as Paloma, and I also enjoyed her. Also, there were a lot of people that you can easily recognize their faces, but they were all minor characters in the movie. Apart from Lea Seydoux, she's in a few other Daniel Craig James Bond movies, and she's Daniel Craig's lover, and you see her a lot of the time, and I think she's basically, you can call her the supporting character, apart from Rami Malek, who is going to be the antagonist. He's a bad guy, obviously. With James Bond, it's always very hard to make a movie review, even in my head, just because it's very repetitive. It's the same thing, it's just a different guy. And obviously Naomi Harris as Moneypenny. I'm sorry that my face is like this. It's the same thing. If you've seen Spectre, if you've seen the Casino Royale, or if you've seen any of the four, a lot of the characters are the same, apart from the who is going to be the new bad guy, and maybe he has a new lover, or is the lover, and there's something going to be different each time. I'm not going to spoil this one even for you, but all around it's always the same. There's really nothing you can do about it. Was it interesting? I loved the movie. It was well done. The money they spent on the movie, they do it with all the James Bond movies, and of course it's Daniel Craig. It's going to be his last one before they hire a new James Bond, so obviously they want to live with a bang. But at the end of the day, will I watch it again? Maybe in a year, maybe a little bit longer. It's not something I want to see over and over and over again, which is like that with a lot of James Bond movies. But it was good. It was thrilling, which I think the movie is what it's made for. It's a thrilling movie. When you're watching it, with the bombs and everything, it's thrilling, but that's really all it's going to ever be, and that's enough, I guess. Not every movie has to be, leaving you with an experience. All round, if you like that sort of James Bond thrilling movie, you will enjoy this. If not, take a pass. And that's it, guys. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Ciao.